I'm setting up my 12 volt solar power system to bring power into the cellar. I've got the shelves built. I've got a few screws left to do, but I'm waiting for the boards to settle before I put them in. See if I can't get a good view of it. Yeah. Eight feet wide. I used all but about, 2 inches of each board. But it's all set up with runners to hold a lot of weight. And I have not found my rubber mallet, but I'll get these Amazon shelves put together here today and get everything stabilized. But this should let me stack a lot of stuff out of the house that's not going to be temperature sensitive. And I've got plenty of room here for chairs. I could use the van seat, I guess. Although we'll probably put the van seat back in the van when we get it up here. I'm using lithium iron phosphate batteries. I'm just going to run them in parallel. Sorry. Yeah, 12 volt parallel. I thought this was a 12 and 24 volt charger. It should be, but I haven't been able to get it to work in 24 volt mode for some reason. When I hook these up in series, this thing records 38 volts for some reason. I've got a 24 volt panel on it that we bought a long time ago for aerating our pond to keep fish healthy and alive. Our summers get brutal, and we just had so many summers in a row that were just beyond hot that we eventually lost the fish and the pond. There's just no way to save them. Just had too many drought years. I'll get these fans put on the vents. I'll just run some like trailer wire or something, or I might get an extension cord and cut it up and use that. I don't intend to spend any money on it, but my old wires, which was old trailer wiring, they're so corroded, power isn't getting through them. All the water that had got in here, got them, and my old LED lamps I can't even get a flicker out of any part of them. But I've got a solution for that. And Amazon sent me these nice RV panels, and they put out a lot of light. They've got power button and a brightness slider. These light panels, they'll do great. This glue gun has done a remarkable job. I'm not going to screw anything to the walls, and I can rip these off if I want to. But I found that hot glue will adhere to this just fine. This is just a 12 volt port here. Just run it to there, and I can run accessories on it and pull them out if I need to. This line here is going to go to the batteries. I may run a heavier line, I don't know. That's not a bad idea, but I don't have any with me right now. I'll have to find something. And this line, of course, just goes out to the 24-volt solar panel. Here's some new trailer wiring I haven't used. And I've got some wire and an old extension cord that I may cut up and use as the battery leads. But these batteries should last a long, long time down here. Let's see here. 32 Celsius down here. I don't think I can change that. Turn the power off, but that seems to be all I can do. I've got to remember what that is. I think that's the voltage coming in from the solar panel, 13.8 volts. At least that's what it's set to. I'm going to have to remember how to set that. I know at 9.5 volts it'll turn the battery on. I can't remember what load on does. And this is a timer to have it work for so many hours, but since I need it running for 24 hours, I won't have to change that. And that setting is lithium iron phosphate batteries. And that's the battery level right there. 13.4 right now. It might accidentally be the solar panel charging. I can't remember. I'll figure that out later. This is just a fan speed controller, so I can control the amount of air that the fans are pulling or blowing through the vents. This is a pretty good one too. It should be in good shape. And I have some power inverters. Haven't decided which one to put down here, but I'd like to have at least one down here for charging tools and things. Because right now my other solar panel system is fried, and this can handle charging power tools and stuff for now. I'm hoping I only need the 300 watt, but since it's got both of them, as long as I use heavier wire, I may go direct to the batteries with heavier wire, or I'll just connect direct to here with it. I'll figure it out. It's just a matter of preference, really. As long as I got enough gauge to allow enough current through, it'll work. So far, this project is just going slow due to all the heat and humidity. This camping fan has just been wonderful down here. It just lasts and lasts and lasts. It's got all kinds of functions. It's got a really bright light if you need it to, and it can be hanged. You can also use it as a battery pack to charge your phone and stuff. It's even got a remote control. It's got all kinds of features, and That was something I was glad to get last year. It really does a good job. I think this fan may have quit working. I'll take it apart and see if I can fix it. Yes, I even try to fix fans. I've serviced all my computer fans, equipment fans, UPS fans, everything. Replacing small components, lubrication, everything. It's just my brain. I want to fix things. I just want to fix things. Rigids. Like I said, I'm not really a fan of DeWalt power tools. These are just knockoff batteries, but I haven't had any issues with them. And one of the main reasons we go with rigid is because the genuine batteries, you get a full lifetime replacement. And when they get weak, you replace them. They just send you a brand new one and you're good to go. May have to take it into Home Depot, but you have to register them and do it all through Home Depot. You can't do it through online sales or anything like that. But the internals of these tools, as far as I'm concerned, are just far more superior to DeWalt and others. They're not top of the line by any means. But I'm just not into nylon gears. I'm sure they work fine for most things, but I don't want to be on top of a hot roof and have a nylon gear give out. Well, back to the doctor. I know I'm as scatterbrained as can be anymore. I gave her my life story for the last 6 months. Last time I saw her, the day I saw her, is when we got the call about my brother dying. And I just haven't had a day to myself really since. We're still waiting on death certificate after all this time. I don't know what else to do. I'm stressed out as can be, and my doctor said that until such time as I am able to get past the stress of everything that's going on, I'll probably have a very, very bad time trying to lose weight. She also wants me to see an eye doctor. She's just thinking about it. But she kind of saw me at my worst the other day. I was dealing with allergies and I'd been rubbing my eyes. I tried to explain to her that the stuff she was having me put on them really cleared up the issues, and I'd solved the conjunctivitis that was being caused by the eye drops. My eyes are great. I can't see up close. I don't have macro vision anymore. But all in all, my eyes are still sharp. I was really pleased when I got them straightened up, got the dry eye taken care of, the red eye taken care of. I can see real good. I can see every detail in the texture of the walls and the ceiling, in minute detail. So they're still sharp. Now up close, I wish I still had that kind of vision, but that's all right. Maybe I can get some implants in my eyes that give me that kind of vision back. I've heard of them before. I don't know if they're available or not. Well, I'm going to keep working at this and I'll show you what I get to. I'm just trying to decide what all to use as wire, since I'm not going to be spending any money on it. I'll probably just get another electric cord and just cut it up and use that. it'd be easy to hot glue it. Even as hot as this ceiling get, this hot glue held great. It doesn't have much weight, but I put that on there before with a different hot glue, and after a couple of days this line was just dripping down. The glue just melting and stretching. I won't be running that across there again since I've got these light panels. I'll probably put a light panel here by the door so we can turn it on and see. Maybe put one in the middle there and up there, in the middle there. That ought to give us, well, just one of these panels light up this whole room. Yes, smells a lot better down here with all that stuff out of it. And it's nice. I've evicted all the wasps. There's a fly of some kind in the stairwell. Hope that's not a giant mosquito. If it is, I'll have to get a hammer. Anyway, I'm going to set this to radio mode, and I'm going to get back to work. Well, we got the light panels up, just wiring everything together. As you can see, I've got electricity out here. I'm using it to charge a battery to the glue gun. And the panel itself provides lots of light. It's already night. I don't think we've got any power coming off the solar panels. Not 100% sure. That might be it. I can't remember which setting is which. But I'll finish getting all this stuff in place and cleaned up, and get the lights wired up and get the fans wired up. Then I'll have all the electric done, but I've got 110 volt electricity. I've been doing some soldering with the most Mickey Mouse soldering iron I've ever used, but did the job. That figures. But it's night. I'm still feeling sick. That's neat. Got a nice warm light, neutral light. I like that one best. But I think that's it for me today. Hopefully I'll get over the reaction to that vaccine shot by tomorrow and feel a lot better. I didn't get much done, but it's enough for one day. I probably can't afford to lose a day, but I need to try. Well, here it is. I guess you could call it an underhome. 24 volt solar panel. These are mounting rails for it, but I don't have clips, and I haven't found any aluminum I can shape into any clips. They want way too much money for clips. All I need is 4 clips to hook it to that frame. Those are 2 legs. They're just sitting there like the nose of a starfighter for now. So, I've got this 8x10 cellar cleaned, dry, sealed. Let's go in and I'll show you what's here. Turn a light on. Put this on fisheye. This doesn't need to sit here now. I just had it there while I was vacuuming. Just set it anywhere for now. Okay, the grand tour. The doorway. Seating. That's just the rear seat to our Ford van. We'll probably put it back in and put some chairs in here. But I've got 4, well, they're RV lamps for replacing lighting in RVs and mobile, well, not mobile homes, but anything with 12 volts. However, just one is plenty bright enough. Just one is plenty bright. This is overkill. Those other 3 are just overkill. But at least you got a light on each wall in case you want it. I also have 2 vents. The fan I'm going to put in this one's broken. I got to repair it. But I made a rail system to just slide them in and out and flip them over if you want intake or exhaust. They're just 140 millimeter computer fans. I fixed them with reverse plugs so that no one tries to plug their laptop into them. Then again, I guess if someone wants to plug their laptop into them, I can put a port here. But I've also got power, so I guess that doesn't matter. These are just screws for the solar power mount. That's the shelves I built. Get some weight on these boards, let them flatten out, and I'll finish putting screws in them. Left a little gap so I can get things past. That was an issue with the first one. We had to cut slots out. That should be plenty strong. Plenty strong. I ripped these legs and everything, and I wanted it to be light and not take up room. And it made a whole lot more room in here than the shelves my dad put in for vegetables. They came out to about here. Like right about here. Took up a lot of room, and then he'd put more vegetables on boards, on concrete and stuff like that. It was always a mess. I've got to get him to stop. He wants to do more gardening, of course, but I got to stop him from putting vegetables down here. It never works. It gets too hot down here. But as you can see, I simply took an electric extension cord, ran it all the way around, and just tapped into it. Ran an extra power wire, a hot wire for the fans, and just used the black wire and the electric for the ground to them. And the lights use the other two wires. There's the two lithium iron phosphorus batteries. They're powerful enough to run all 4 lights and the fans for probably 8 hours without sunlight. If I've got my math right, I haven't really looked into it very much. This ended up being a 10 amp charger. I thought it was a 20 amp. Someday I may switch it out with a 20 or 30 amp, because this inverter is a 300 watt. And to use it fully, I really need to be able to pull about 25 amps. This is just a 12 volt port for anything. I just left this on it, on that wire that they had. Just plug it in and you go. And this is my fan controller. It's got a forward and reverse. Actually, it just flips, positive and ground around. But the fans I'm using won't tolerate that. That's why I made the rails. But I can run two items. I've also got USB ports for charging. I don't think these have ever worked. I need to test them. It's not the prettiest job I've ever done, but it's functional. And I just used hot glue so that if I need to change something, I can just rip it off. I'll figure out a place to put the batteries later. I'll have to build something around here for storage. And I'll make something for the batteries. I just don't want them sitting on the concrete. And that one light is more than enough. I've got to repair the other fan. I may work on that a little bit later today. But now I've got a lot of storage. It's not going to be near enough. But I fixed it so I've got the floor and 4 shelves high. And I'll put stuff that moisture won't even matter on the floor. Things that are in good sealed containers. But worst comes to worst, I could live down here if a tornado hit or something. I could run main electric if I had to, but as is, using this system and this inverter, I could easily put as big a TV as I wanted down here and run a mini fridge all on this. I can't do much more than that, but I could also just run a laptop and a mini fridge. If I had to, I could move my servers down here. Them and a laptop would work down here just fine. I typically do all my business on a tablet, but I've got charging options. But this is our storm cellar. And for once, it's clean enough and safe enough to get in to actually use it. No rotting vegetables, no rats. I'm sure the spiders will find their way in though. But it turned out pretty well. The hot glue is held perfectly. I got trapped in here yesterday. I was gluing up this section, and when I let go and turned around, there was a bunch of big red wasps sitting there daring me to go past them. Well, they weren't leaving, and I didn't have anything down here to get them with. So I just took a chance, and for some reason they didn't sting me, and I went and got some hornet spray from the kitchen and reached down under the door and sprayed them. I've just about got this insect proof. Because I have to allow air, I can't totally keep them out. It's a nice breeze. This fan is really drawing air through. Well, that's the grand tour. Guess I'll leave this on in case we have to come down here at night. I'll leave these tools here. I'll accept these. All worked out real well. I just ended up with a pretty serious storm. I wasn't expecting any rain at all. It dropped half an inch of rain. So let's see how the cellar did inside. Steps are dry. I was fully expecting that to leak. Okay. Get some light on it. Nice. excellent. It is dry as it can be. It is sealed. That is great. As you can see, I've been moving knives and tools down here. Except for that one right there. All the rest of this is knives. This one's got throwing knives, throwing stars, and just weapons you can throw. It's also got some really wicked, I don't know what you call them, little spears to stab people with, I guess, if that's what you want it for. But there's a lot of high dollar knives and all that. I didn't know what they were until I was really looking through them. I was just making sure that there wasn't any explosives like lighters and butane refills and stuff like that in them, and torches and stuff. But all of that is knives. Those bags are full. I just hope that shelf is strong enough to hold all of it. I'm sure it is. If I'd have thought, I would have used thicker boards than one buys, but I'm pretty sure that's going to hold it just fine. But there's some really high quality knives in there. Most of them seem to be American made, and they were all organized by the maker. I didn't realize that in time. But it looks like my brother had sold a bunch of knives. It looks like he had those labeled, and he'd throw some of them in a truck and go sell them. And this is what's left. There's still some more knives in the house. Nothing I want to bring out here. They're just little bitty interesting ones. But there's handmade knives and everything in all this. And I think that box is actually knives. I'll have to clean them out. Oh yeah, shoot. This is all knives too. I've got throwing hatchets down there. I'll probably move those over here once I get everything situated. And I guess I'll bring all the swords and stuff like that down here too. I don't see why they won't be just fine down here. But my cellar is dry and sealed, so I got that good. I was fully prepared to dig down another 3 feet and get to this one if I needed to, but it's dry. Another day, another project done. Not the solar panel. I just got that mounted on there temporarily. But I got the cellar painted. Can't really look at it. It's a 85% reflectivity, and that's good. The temperature today is not hot enough to really say if it's really good and cooling, but I've got every layer on here and there are no cracks. This particular brand is supposed to expand by 250% to resist cracking. It should absorb the cracks in the concrete just fine. But this is what Shrimpy and I had discussed doing. Only thing is, I was in kind of a hurry. I had time, to get things ready, but it's fall and it's hard to get an exact weather time to do this. But it came out great. If I'd have thought about it, I would have ground the hydraulic patch out, which seems to be working, but it's sealed. But this works so well that I may still grind those out, get it all level again, and just repaint with this elastomeric paint. I've got enough paint to do a whole other layer on it, but I think it'd just be a waste of time. I was really pleased with how it adhered to the door. And of course, the very first things the dogs do, they have to run up on it. Fortunately, it had just a few minutes to dry, and they didn't track it everywhere or put any paw prints in it. But the dew is so heavy right now that it's difficult to do a job like this and get the paint to stick. But last night, the dew point was at 61, and that was as close to what it needed to be as it was going to get for a long time. And so it did not get enough dew this morning to be a problem. It really stuck. It stuck good. Of course, I've got storms on the way. I need them to stay away for another 4 hours, and then this will be cured. But with the dew point at 61 and the projected low temperature last night to be 72, that was as good as it was going to get, and so I went for it, and it really looks good. It's too bad it has to be so bright. I just have to close my eyes out here. But it works. I got the solar panel mounted on some real light frames that Amazon sent. They're kind of nice. What I'll probably do, see, I kind of want this where I can just move it around so I can mow and do everything. I don't really want to mount it on the top of the cellar. I thought about finding a way to mount it on the door, but I don't really want to add more weight to that spring. But as is, this is real light. I can pick it up, move it wherever I need to, and it'll keep all the electric and stuff going in the cellar. There might be times I might have to run a couple of stakes through the legs to keep it in place, but I don't think so. And now I have to dig all this dirt back out and put it back against the cellar. I'll wait for it to cure, of course. I need to build some frames to put my vent boxes on right and put my insect screens back up. That won't be an issue. But at least that's done, and I can keep moving stuff down in there.